TJ and Friends Smith System CDL Training School. I created a simulated manual transmission truck in my classroom so that I'll be able to teach the student to understand a 10-speed shifting pattern. Okay, this is the tractor, that's the steering wheel. This is the clutch on the far left, and the one in the middle is the brake pedal, and then this one on the far right is the accelerator. Anytime you want to gas the truck, you have to push this down to gas it. Okay, and then anytime you want to stop, it has to be clutch and brake. You have to apply both of these together to stop. If you don't do this, the truck will stall out, especially if you stop in the middle of an intersection. You have to press this down, and then you have to press this also for the truck not to stall out, because if you stall out on the test, it's automatic fail. Now this is the gear, the 10 speed gear pattern that I created. Now the 10 speed pattern is just a 5 speed on top of another 5 speed. See, so from gear 1 to 5, this is called the splitter of the gears. It has to be down. It has to be down like this. And now when you want to shift to 6, 7, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gear. When you're shifting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one has to be down. When you're shifting from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have to flip it up like that. As soon as you get to 5, number 5, and then you want to go to 6, you have to flip it up. There you go, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's high range. When it's down here like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's low range gear. It has to be down. And anytime you want to shift from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have to flip it up. There you go, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is a splitter. That's why we call it a splitter. Okay, so now the other thing I want you not to forget as a student when you're using the 10-speed shifting pattern is anytime you stop, let's say like I was on 10th gear when I stopped, high range, right? As soon as I stop the truck, I need to flip this down and then step on the clutch, and then I take the truck to neutral. When I go to neutral, neutral is the center. It's the center position is called neutral. Okay, I go to neutral, and then I step on the clutch again. Then I reset the gears again. That is, you can reset it to either number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5. If the truck is empty, you can reset to any of these gears. You know, either number 2 or number 3 or number 4. You know, but when you're loaded, when the truck is fully loaded, you can either start with number 1 or you start with number 2 or number 3. But when you're empty, you can start with any one of them here. Okay. So if you stop, let me go again. I was on 10 gear when I come to a stop on the traffic lights. So as soon as I stop, I have to flip it down, and then I go back to neutral, push it to neutral. That is, you have to step on the clutch. You go to neutral, then you step on the clutch again, then you go to gear. Some people, what they're doing, the mistake they're doing is, it will be, they stop at number 10 gear, right, on the traffic light. And then they will just push it like that without, and when they push it, then they flip this down. That's the wrong way. You have to flip this one down from number 10. Let's say you stop on number, either you stop at number 8 gear. Flip it down, you go to neutral, then you go back to gear. So that's what you do. So I don't want students to keep making that mistake. That's why I'm taking my time to teach this. So this is the gas pedal. Anytime you want to accelerate the truck, that's the gas pedal, okay? That is, you have to double clutch. When you shift clutch, neutral, and then you clutch again, then you shift to gear. Then when you come off the clutch, you're coming off the clutch slowly, then you gas in the truck. Like the clutch foot is coming up, then the gas foot is going down. That's how you shift. Once you're coming off the clutch, you're gassing the truck. Okay, so that's how you walk, okay? So now, these things you see here, this yellow and the red, this is the red, that's the yellow. They have two functions, but they all function to prevent the truck from moving anytime you stop. Okay, the red one is for the trailer. It's called the trailer air supply valve, and then the yellow one is the tractor protection valve. Now, the trailer air supply valve, it works with the trailer brake. It has some air lines that are connected to the trailer. And then this one is for the tractor. That's why when you're doing your torque test, if you want to torque the tractor brake, you understand, you have to leave this out. Then you push the trailer brake to torque this. And then if you want to torque the trailer brake, you have to leave the trailer brake out. You push this in, then you torque the brake to see if the trailer brake is working. So the one that's out, that's the brake you're testing when you're doing your test at DMV. So okay, this is a trailer air supply valve. That's the tractor protection valve. This is for the tractor. This one is for the trailer. Okay, now, of course, this is a steering wheel. You already know this is a steering wheel. And in a 10-speed shifting pattern like this, you have something called the RPM. You see the RPM, or some people call it a tachometer. The RPM is the timer. It tells you when to shift the gears. Like for example, you've always watched this needle. When you see the needle on the RPM has to be between the sweet spot. We call this the sweet spot. That is between 1000 RPM to 1500 RPM, or some people say 10 to 15 RPM. If this red needle, if it's between these two numbers, you can shift and you will never grind the gears. You never you never grind the gear. But anytime the RPM drop below 1000 RPM, you have to gas it again for it to go between the sweet spot for you to shift. So it's a timer. It tells you whenever this needle is between this number and this number, if you shift, you never grind the gear. If it goes below, you shift, you grind the gears. If you go above, you grind the gear also, and then you'll be wasting a lot of fuel if you allow this RPM to pass 1500 RPM. So when you're shifting, you have to watch this. And some people, what they do, they listen to the engine, the sound of the engine. Some people that don't do this, they just listen to the sound of the engine and they shift. So you can either do this or you learn how to listen to the sound of the engine before you shift, so that you don't waste gas and you don't grind the gears. That's why for double clutching, for people that double clutch, when they're downshifting, that is, you have to go clutch, neutral, you have to gas it. Because anytime you're slowing down, the RPM, this needle will fall down below this 1000 RPM. So if you don't gas the truck, for it to go up, you will not be able to shift. So always watch it. It has to be between this and this. That's why if you fall down, you gas it just a little bit for it to rise up, so that you don't grind the gears. Okay, so that's what the RPM does. It's your timer. It tells you when to shift. Then there is something again that you have to know about, which is the speedometer. Is over there. I'm going to show you about that, the speedometer. All of them give you a clue about when to shift, how to shift the truck. So, okay, now, I just told you about the parking brake. Anytime you park the truck, you have to pull them out. Psh, psh. If you don't pull these two out, you get off the truck will roll down and roll by itself and cause an accident. So that's why anytime you stop, you have to pull them out. They work with the automatic spring brake. When you pull them out, the automatic spring brake apply. They hold your tire will not go nowhere. When you push them in, that is, you release your automatic spring brake, so that you can be able to use the middle pedal, which is the brake pedal. The brake pedal is called a service brake. Anytime you want to stop the truck, you have to apply this and the clutch together. That is clutch and brake, for the truck to not to stall out when you stop. If you don't step on the brake, you don't step on the clutch, when you stop, the truck will stall out. That is, the engine will shut off by itself, and that's automatic fail on the test. So you have to hold clutch and brake anytime you're trying to stop, especially if you stop in the middle of the intersection. You hold the clutch down, then you hold the brake. Now, when you want to move again, you release the clutch gradually. Then, as soon as the clutch gets to the top position, that 2 inches, then the truck will start pulling forward. That's the time you gas the accelerator to move. Some people, they release this very fast. No, you should not release fast. You have to release it gradually. Let's say if the clutch is down like that, I want the truck to move, I release it like this, slowly. As soon as you release it to that 2 inches, no more than 2 inches of play, then the truck will start pulling forward. As soon as the truck starts pulling forward, that's the time you gas the accelerator so that the truck go. And then you come off the clutch at that time. So that's how you gas when you're moving, okay? So now, these are the gear pattern. You have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. anytime you're shifting to these gears, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, this flipper needs to be down. If this flipper is not down, you can't be able to shift. You stall out again. If the flipper is up, you try to shift to this gear, you stall out. Because it lacks power, the truck lacks power to move. But when it's down like this, that's why they say a 10-speed is just a 5-speed on top of 5-speed, of another 5-speed. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The splitter is down. And then when you want to go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you have to flip it up like this. Flip it up, then you go to 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 gear. And then try to understand your gears. The gear pattern on a 10-speed manual transmission, like I said, is a 10-speed on top of a 10-speed. The gear pattern, you have to understand the gear position. That's why when people come to my school, the first thing I tell them, you have to memorize this. If you don't memorize this, you don't know the gear pattern. Even if I try to teach you from January to December, you never understand the 10-speed shifting pattern. So now, you have to know the left gears. See the left wall. You have two sets of walls. You have the left wall, and then you have the right wall. So the left wall gears, that is, you have to push the gear shifter to the left, like this. If it's in the middle, you push it to the left before you can shift to these gears. Then you have the right wall gears. So the right wall gears, they're on this side. If you want to shift to any of these gears, you have to push the gear shifter to the right to shift. And then you have the middle gear. See the middle gears? These are the middle gears. See number 2, number 3, number 7, number 8. They are the middle gears. When you want to shift into these gears, you don't have to push the gear shifter nowhere. It has to be in the middle, then you shift to them. They are the middle gears. Okay? You either shift forward or you shift backwards. So, understanding the gear shifting pattern will help you a lot in shifting. So, I know the left gear, the left wall, the right wall gears. The left wall, you have low reverse. Number 1, number 6, they're on the left wall. You have to push the gear shifter to the left to shift to these gears. And then number 2, number 7, number 3, number 8, they're in the middle. The middle gears, you have to push it. Some people, when they come from number 6, this is number 6 on the side, right? Backward. They want to go to number 7, they push it too far. If you push it too far, the gear shifter is going to number 9. If you come from 6, you want to go to 7. If you push it too far, the gear shifter will go to number 9. So that's why you have to be careful. Just allow the gears to go. The way it's programmed on the truck, from number 6, just allow it to go by itself to number 7. Just give it a small push. But if you push it to the far end, it's going to number 9. So you have to think about that. Okay? So that's where most people make mistakes. And if you go to the wrong gear, the truck stall out, they will fail you again on the test. So now, like I said, those are the right wall. Anytime you want to shift to number 4, number 5, if you're shifting 4 and 5, like I said, it has to be down. So you push it to the far right, and then you shift to them, 4 and 5. Now, if you are from number 8, the flipper is up. If you're from number 8, that is 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. This one needs to be up. If you want to shift to 9 and 10, you have to push it all the way to the far end. There you go 9, there you come 10. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear, okay? So it has to be clutch, clutch. Anytime you're shifting, it has to go like this. When after the RPM go between 10 and 1500, the RPM, then you go like this. Clutch, clutch. So clutch, it's like this. Clutch, clutch. Clutch, clutch. That's how you shift. Clutch, clutch. Clutch, clutch. That is clutch, neutral, clutch gear. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear. So it's like clutch, neutral, clutch gear. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear. That's how you shift. Clutch, this is the clutch. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear. If you learn how to shift like this, clutch, neutral, clutch gear. When you're learning, you have to talk it out to yourself. Or you say clutch, clutch. Some people, they just say clutch, clutch. That is clutch, neutral, clutch gear. Clutch, neutral, clutch gear. So that's how you shift. Okay, those are the parts. That's how you use your left foot. Press your left foot down, clutch. You take the truck to neutral, then you clutch again, then you go to gear. Say clutch, out of gear, clutch, into gear. Clutch, out of gear, clutch, into gear. It's the same. Clutch, clutch. You take the truck out of gear, and then you clutch again, then you take the truck to gear. Let's say like I was on number 2. I want to shift to number 3. So I clutch it, I take it from number 2, I bring it to neutral, then I clutch it again. Then I take it from neutral, then I go to number 3. You do the same thing anytime you want to shift. You don't shift right away from 2, you go to 3. No, that's wrong. You cannot do that, okay? So you have to take from number 2, you clutch, you bring it to neutral, and then from neutral, you clutch again, then you go to number 3. You do the same. From number 3, you clutch to neutral, from neutral, you clutch again, then you go to number 4. Then you do the same again. From number 4, you clutch, you bring it to neutral, from neutral, you clutch again, then you go to number 5. So that's why I would say clutch, neutral, clutch, gear. So now, if you want to shift to high range, you flip this up. Because number 1 to 5, it has to be down, right? When you're shifting 1 to 5. Now you want to shift 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Flip it up. Then you go again. From number 6, you clutch, you bring it to neutral. From number 6, you clutch, you bring it to 7. Then you do the same thing again. From number 7, you clutch to neutral. From neutral, then you clutch again, you go to number 8. From number 8, you push the gear to the wall, the right wall. From number 8, you go to neutral, clutch, you go to neutral, and then from number 8, you go to 9. From number 9, you clutch again to neutral. Number 9, you go to 10. So that's how you shift, okay? Okay, now, all these gears that you see, see, I created a dock. This is how the truck park in the dock. So I created a toy dock so that the student know you have to learn how to back into that. That's how you learn how to back into the dock. TJ is very creative. Okay, now, like I was saying, okay, so I created this again for the students, okay, to understand. This is the RPM. Some people call it the tachometer. This is the RPM. This is the speedometer. This is miles per hour. So now, when you're driving a manual transmission, it entails a lot. You should be able to shift. You should be able to watch your tachometer, your speedometer, and everything, you know. And then you'll be able to watch your gauges, you watch the road. So manual transmission is not for lazy people. If you're lazy, just go drive automatic transmission. Let the truck does everything for you. If you want to drive a manual, you have to be able to read everything. Now, you read your RPM. Like I said, the RPM is a timer. 10 to 15 RPM is a sweet spot. It tells you when to shift, okay? That's the timing. Some people, they listen to the sound of the engine to shift. Now, the speedometer, from 1 gear up to 5, 5 miles per hour, you can shift from number 1, you understand, to number 10. From 5 miles per hour up to 10 miles per hour, you can shift from number 1 up to number 10. Okay? Now, from 15 miles per hour, then that's the time you start adding the number. See, when you see 15 miles per hour, so you add this number, 1 plus 5 is the same as 6. Okay, 50 miles per hour, you add this 1 plus 5, 1 plus 5, you add them, then you shift to 6 gear. So sometimes if you're distracted, like you're talking to somebody, you're not paying attention on your dashboard or your speedometer, and then let's say you just shift from number 2, and then when you shift from number 2, because you raise the RPM so high, and then the speedometer, this needle goes to 15. So you just add the number. Don't try to move from number 3. Again, you go to number 4. If you see the speedometer on 15, even though you are on number 3, just shift to 6. Because if you try to shift to number 4, you're going to grind the gear again. You're going to make You're grinding the gears. But if I see the speedometer, even though I started from shifting from number 1 to number 2, and then from number 2, when I check now my speedometer, the speedometer needle is on 15 miles per hour, I will never shift to number 4 again. I'll just flip it up, then I go to 6. I flip the high range, okay, this one. I flip the high range up, and then because I see it on number 15, then I add it to number 1 plus 5, then I shift to 6. So it's the same again. So when I gas the truck, the RPM go up 10 to 1500 RPM, the sweet spot. Then this needle move from 15, it goes to 25. Then I add this to number 2 plus 5. Then I know I should shift to number 7. See, I shift to number 7. See? Then I gas the truck again. The RPM go up 10 to 15 RPM, 1500 RPM or 10 to 15, which is the safe sweet spot. Then this needle, it move from 25, it go to 35 miles per hour. Then I add this two number again, 3 plus 5. Then I shift to 8 gear. So you have to know your gear position. Number 8 is backwards. Okay? Then I gas the truck again from 35. the needle goes to 45 miles per hour, then I add the two numbers. My speedometer goes to 45 miles per hour. Then I add the number 4 plus 5. Okay, then the RPM is between 10 to 1500 RPM. Then I add this 4 plus 5. Then I shift to 9 gear. I push it to the wall, right wall, then I shift to 9. Then when I gas the truck again, 10 to 1500 RPM, that's my sweet spot. Then I see the needle move from 45 miles per hour. I come to 55 miles per hour. Then I add the number again, 5 plus 5. Then I shift to 10 gear. See, so you have to know, you have to memorize this. You have to understand all this. If you want to shift a 10-speed pattern, if you don't understand this, all these three things I'm talking about, including this shifter, and then you don't understand your clutch, how to move your clutch, you'll never be able to shift the truck. So you have to understand all this for you to be for you to be able to shift. And anytime you miss your gears, just watch the speedometer tells you all the time what gear you're supposed to, the right gear you're supposed to shift to. So now, if let's say you're distracted, you're on 45 miles per hour, but you're not paying attention to your speedometer, and then now you want to shift, but you find out that the gear shifter, the speedometer has fallen down to 35 miles per hour, even though you were on 45, you can't go to 55. You just shift to 35, which is 8. You add the two numbers, 3 plus 5. So now let's talk about downshifting. Downshifting now. Anytime you want to downshift, you see, this was upshifting when you started from this way. You shift progressively up to this. Okay. Now downshifting is I want to take an exit ramp. I was driving 65 miles per hour on the interstate. Now from 55, you gas it to go to 65 by itself. Okay. Now I was driving 65 miles per hour on I-95. I want to take the exit ramp going to Doswell, right? But I could not take that exit ramp with 65 miles per hour speed. That's too much for me. So what I want to do is, I want to slow down the truck. From 65, I step on the clutch and brake to slow the truck down. And then the clutch and the brake pedal, because the clutch helps to slow the truck down, then the brake helps to stop it. So I slow the truck down, clutch and brake, and then this needle, if it was here, I start going down up to 55, then start going down to 45. Then as soon as I saw the needle on 45, then I add the two number 4 plus 5. You know, I was on 65. As soon as I slow the truck down up to 45 miles per hour by stepping on the clutch and the brake, then I'm going to downshift to 9 gear. So I add these two number 4 plus 5, and then I take it clutch, I go to neutral, and then I gas it, because the RPM has to be between 10 to 15 RPM before I'll shift. So I gas it a little bit, then it goes up. This needle go up to between the RPM, then I downshift to 45. That's 9 gear, right? Then I step on the clutch and brake again. Now my needle, it was going up this way, now it's going backwards. Then I step on the needle again. Then from 45 miles per hour, I slow down up to 35 miles per hour. Then I add the two number again, 3 plus 5. That's 8 gear. That's downshifting now. Then I go again, clutch, neutral. I gas it for this RPM to go up. I clutch again, then I downshift to 8 gear. So that's how you slow down and downshift. Before you downshift, if you don't slow down the truck, you'll never be able to downshift. I saw most people that are grinding gears because the truck is on high speed and they want to downshift. It don't work like that. Downshifting is about you're coming to a slow, to a stop. So you have to slow down. So if you don't slow down, you will not be able to downshift the truck. So I slow down again from 35 miles per hour. I slow down clutch and brake to slow down to 25 miles per hour. So I add these two numbers again, 2 plus 5 is 7 gear. So if I slow down from 35 to 25, I add these two numbers, 2 plus 5, 7 gear. Then I go again, clutch, I take it out of gear, which is neutral. I gas it for this to go up, the needle to go up. Then I downshift to 7. Then I slow down again from 25. I slow down to 15 miles per hour. Okay, clutch and brake to slow down. I have to clutch and brake to slow down. Then the needle come down all the way to 15. As soon as I saw the needle on 15 gear, 15 miles per hour, then I go again, clutch, I take it out of gear, gas it, and then clutch again. Then I shift to 6 gear. 1 plus 5 is 6. So that's it. You can stop the truck at 15 gear, 15 miles per hour. Then when you stop at 15 miles per hour, you flip this down. When you flip it down, then you start all over again from number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4. You can start with those gear when the truck is empty. So it starts all over again for either number 1 gear, number 2, number 3, or number 4 when you're empty. So that's how you shift. Okay, you should be able to understand this. If you don't understand all the gear shifting pattern, you don't understand the RPM, you don't understand the speedometer, you will never be able to shift. So my name is TJ. I hope the student will find this explanation very, very, how do you call it? Very, very educative and very, very valuable. So do you have any question?
No, sir.
You don't have no question? Okay, so I'll stop here for now. Okay, my name is TJ. I'm the owner of TJ and Friend Truck Driving School. If you want to get your CDL, just come here. I'll show you what to do to become a professional CDL truck driver. Okay, I'll stop here. Okay, before I go, whenever you're making turns, this is the right gear, either number 6 or number 5. You have to really, really slow down if you're making turns. You have to make sure you always downshift to either number 6 or number 5. That means the truck, because the reason why you want to downshift to this gear, these gears are so low enough, they will prevent the truck from rolling over, that is from tipping over. If you're going on curve or turns, you want to make sure that your speed reduced to either 50 miles per hour or at least 5 miles per hour to make some navigation on turns so that you don't tip over the truck. Okay? So like I said, understanding downshifting will help you a lot. Okay, I'll stop here for now. Thank you very much, TJ and Friends.